The golden sunset bathed the massive mansion in a warm glow, a symbol of wealth and perfection, but inside, something was missing. In the elegant dining hall beneath a sparkling crystal chandelier, the wealthy family gathered for dinner, laughing and celebrating their success, while one young girl sat quietly at the far end of the long table, unnoticed. Aisha, dressed simply compared to her siblings, felt invisible in her own home. Her mother, wrapped in luxury and pride, barely looked at her, her cold expression making it clear she didn't belong. Her father, always busy with business calls, never spared her a second glance, even when she tried to speak. Her siblings laughed together in designer clothes, deliberately excluding her, as if she were a stranger. Standing in front of a mirror later that night, Aisha stared at her reflection, so simple, so different from the glamorous world around her. Tears filled her eyes, silently falling as she questioned her worth. At a grand party hosted by her family, she stood alone in a corner while rich guests laughed and admired everything except her existence. Her mother whispered harsh criticism behind her back, and her father's disappointed shake of the head shattered what little confidence she had left. Alone in her large bedroom filled with expensive things but no love, she watched the rain fall outside, feeling the same emptiness inside her heart. She held on to an old book, dreaming of a different life where she mattered. Every day, her siblings left for elite schools while she stood behind, forgotten at the gate. At school, she sat alone, ignored by classmates and even teachers who overlooked her raised hand. Lunchtime meant sitting alone on a bench, enduring the laughter of others who mocked her simple clothes. Walking home under a cloudy sky, she carried not just her bag, but the weight of rejection. Even when she tried her best and brought home achievements, her family ignored them, her report card tossed aside without a glance. Her mother praised her siblings while dismissing her efforts, and that night, Aisha cried silently in the corner of her room. Finally, one quiet night, she packed a small bag with trembling hands. With one last look at the mansion that never truly felt like home, she stepped out as the gates slowly opened. Under dim streetlights, she walked away, leaving behind her past, facing a long and lonely road ahead. Aisha's new life began in a small rented room with dim lighting and barely enough space to live. The comfort of wealth was gone, replaced by hardship and survival. She worked tirelessly as a waitress in a cafe, her tired expression hiding the pain she carried. At night, she cleaned office floors, her reflection in the shiny surface reminding her of how far she had fallen, and yet, how far she wanted to rise. Under a weak lamp, she studied with fierce determination, writing notes endlessly, refusing to give up. Rejections became part of her journey, as job interviews ended in disappointment, but she kept moving forward. Many nights, she fell asleep on her desk, exhausted but unbroken. Then one morning, sunlight entered her room, bringing with it a new sense of hope. She began reading business books, slowly transforming her mindset. Her eyes, once filled with sadness, now burned with determination. Her first small success came when she earned her own money, a moment that made her smile after years of struggle. With a laptop and a dream, she started developing a business idea, working late nights fueled by coffee and ambition. When she presented her idea in small meetings, people ignored her at first, just like before, but this time, she didn't stop. She stood strong despite rejection, until finally, someone believed in her. That first client handshake marked the beginning of everything. Slowly, her business began to grow. A small office turned into a thriving workspace, and she hired her first employee, a moment she once thought impossible. Over time, her office transformed into a modern, successful company. Now dressed professionally and confidently, Aisha became a leader. She used her success to help poor communities, distributing support and teaching underprivileged children. Media outlets began noticing her work, shining a spotlight on her journey. News headlines celebrated her rise, and she stood on stage at an award ceremony, receiving applause that once felt unimaginable. A proud smile replaced her tears, though flashes of her painful childhood still lingered in her memory. The contrast between her past and present became her greatest strength. Her company's logo shone brightly on a building, symbolizing her success. Inside, she led a busy office, walking confidently through hallways, delivering motivational speeches that inspired her team. Employees clapped, not just for her success, but for her story. She appeared on magazine covers, her fame spreading across social media. Yet despite her success, she remained humble, attending charity events and helping struggling families. Her peaceful smile reflected inner strength, the kind that only comes from surviving pain. Back at the mansion, the golden glow had faded, replaced by darkness and emptiness. The once powerful family now faced failure. Business meetings ended in disaster, financial documents scattered across tables, and stress consumed them. Her father looked older, worn down by worry, while her mother cried in regret. Her siblings, once united in pride, now argued over money and blame. The luxurious house echoed with loneliness, and soon, an auction sign stood outside, marking the end of their empire. One day, while searching through old drawers, they found photographs of Aisha, the daughter they had ignored. In that moment, reality struck them harder than any loss. Desperate, they searched her name online, only to be shocked by what they found. News articles, interviews, and success stories, all about the daughter they had once dismissed. Regret filled their hearts as disbelief turned into painful realization. With no other choice, they decided to find her. Their journey to her company was filled with anxiety and shame. Standing outside her grand office building, they hesitated, unsure if they even deserved to enter. Inside the reception area, they waited nervously, no longer powerful, just broken people seeking forgiveness. Then, she walked in. Confident, strong, and unrecognizable from the girl they once knew. Their eyes widened in shock as they saw her success reflected in her presence. Regret showed clearly on their faces as they stood before her. With trembling voices and tear-filled eyes, her parents apologized, begging for forgiveness. Aisha listened calmly, her expression composed, though flashes of past pain crossed her mind. The silence between them was heavy, filled with years of unspoken emotions. Then she spoke, not with anger, but with strength and grace. She told them she didn't need revenge, because life had already taught her everything. Instead of turning them away, she chose compassion. She offered help, not because they deserved it, but because she had grown beyond their rejection. Her family broke down in tears, overwhelmed with relief and guilt. In that emotional reunion, the daughter they once ignored stood tall, independent and powerful. And as the sun set once again, casting a golden glow, Aisha's silhouette stood strong, a symbol of growth, forgiveness, and the truth that sometimes, the ones we overlook become the ones we need the most.